Hi everyone, welcome to my home. I'm Nancy Judd. Hi Paula and all of the real women of Philadelphia. Thanks for being with me. Buongiorno, because today we are going to make something fabulous. I've already got the chicken browning on the stove and I can hardly wait for you to taste this. But I call it Heart Attack on a Plate, aka Creamy Chicken Pasta Pomodoro. And it is so incredible. But you'll see why I call it Heart Attack on a Plate when we're finished. But let's go on over to the stove so I can show you how we're browning our chicken. I have my chicken tenders already in with this oil, and we are just going to turn it because we hope it's nice and brown. And that's what we want to do with this. I have already sprinkled it with Italian seasoning and salt and freshly ground pepper and a little bit of onion powder and a little bit of garlic powder. We want these nice and brown because this is going to be on top of our fabulous, fabulous pasta. These are nice and browned, and now we're going to pop it into the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes at a 350-degree oven. While we are having our chicken all finishing off in the oven, we're going to make this fabulous Pomodoro. And Pomodoro means tomato. And for this, I use 4 Roma tomatoes. And I really like these. I do cut them and de-seed them. And I have already cut and de-seeded and chopped these, and there are 4 of them. And I'm going to put them in a bigger bowl. And to that bowl, I'm adding about, a 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. Oh, this makes it so good and so tasty. And I hope you notice as we're doing this that I have an Italian apron on. I got this in Italy, and this is where I learned to make this dish. My daughter and I went over several years ago and took cooking classes throughout the different parts of Italy with wonderful chefs and with also home cooks, right? We stayed at a place that had their own vineyard, this bread and breakfast, and they had their own olives, and it was so incredible. And the lady that taught me was so wonderful. But anyway, to our tomatoes, I'm adding a bunch of chopped basil leaves, and these are fresh basil leaves, and oh my goodness, the smell as I was chopping these. I just roll them up and cut them, and I'm adding 2 large tablespoons of minced garlic. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of pesto. Now this is just jarred pesto. And we're going to put that in there. And then I'm adding about a teaspoon or so, maybe a little more of Italian seasoning. And I'm going to take all this and I'm just going to mixing this all up. And so it's kind of like marinating in the olive oil and the garlic. I learned about the fresh flavors of fresh vegetables and herbs, especially herbs, when we were in Italy. It's just wonderful. I love the way they cook. While all of this other has been happening, I've boiled and drained my pasta, and we're going to set that aside. We also have set aside our tomatoes just to marinate in the wonderful flavors and herbs that we just prepared. To make the rich, rich cream sauce, I have melted about 3 to 4 tablespoons of real butter. And remember, it's got to be real butter. Now, Paula, I know you'll love this part because I know how you love butter. And then I'm adding just about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of chicken broth. And I'm going to stir this in, get my heat up just a little bit more. This came to a boil, and I'm going to add a little more Italian seasoning to this. And I'm also going to add another tablespoon of pesto from a jar. Let's get this mixed in here. Okay, now I'm adding a pint of cream. Oh my. And just stirring this as I go. This is going to be so decadent. Oh my goodness. I think there must be at least, well, I better not tell you how many calories. I just want you to enjoy it because it is so delicious. Next, I'm also going to add my Philadelphia cream cheese, and I'm using an 8-ounce package. And I'm going to kind of break this up and just let it melt into this wonderful, wonderful sauce. That is going to be so delicious. Then I add my Parmesan cheese. Get that mixed in too, so this is all can be heating. I'm on a medium heat right now. And then lastly, I'm going to put in a cup of mozzarella cheese. Now this will all just thicken up beautifully. I'm going to pour the sauce right over my pasta. Now you can use any kind that you want, but this is what I love, is angel hair. I feel like it coats every strand, and it's absolutely delicious. I saved out a few of the tomatoes with the basil and the garlic, and I'm going to add my whole mixture of tomatoes, olive oil, garlic, basil, Italian seasoning. Oh my goodness, is this good. And look how colorful this is. I am now going to pour this into my big pasta dish. And I've had this for a while and absolutely love it. It's got a little chip here and there, but it has so much personality and has a story to tell, especially in our family. I want to scrape all this wonderful goodness out of this pan with these delicious tomatoes and this marinade and this creamy sauce. I've taken the chicken out of the oven, and we're going to place it now kind of a spoke fashion around our platter here. I'm going to place these around here to add more color to our plate. Just sprinkle them around so it's so colorful and so beautiful. Then we're going to take some of our fresh basil from our fresh basil plants. And this is so nice to grow in your kitchen or your garden in the summer. Isn't that beautiful? We're putting that in the center. And then I want to put some around the side too. Just a few leaves to give it a little more color. Your guests will love this. My family loves it. My husband especially. He just, when I make this, and when I do, my neighbors like to know because they come over too, and we eat the whole thing between the four of us, and that's a lot of pasta. Okay, I have got to try this. My daughter, while we've been filming this, came in and she said, "Mom, can I have some, please?" And she said, "Oh, Mom, this is so good." That's all she could say. It was just so wonderful. She just loves it, and we loved it in Italy too. But as I said, Philadelphia cream cheese is what makes this so wonderful. So let me have a quick bite here to let you know that it is so delicious. And I want you to know you're invited to dinner. We'd love to have you. And I think you will love this as much as we do. This is so rich and delicious. I can't even tell you. And the fresh tomatoes and the fresh basil. It is absolutely perfect. So thank you for coming. And I hope to see you again soon here in my home. Bye now.